It's Saturday, July 4th, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, OpenAI floats handing Washington a 5% stake in itself. Elon Musk's XI puts Grok 4.5 into private beta, and a cooling jobs market raises fresh questions about AI and work. Let's get into it.
We begin with OpenAI. According to the Financial Times, the company has proposed giving the United States government a roughly 5% equity stake, a holding worth in the neighborhood of $42.6 billion. Chief Executive Sam Altman is championing what he calls a public wealth fund, a sovereign vehicle modeled loosely on the Alaska Permanent Fund that would let ordinary citizens share in AI's upside. The idea lands as OpenAI courts closer ties with policymakers and prepares for an eventual public offering. Critics question whether entangling a frontier lab with the state is wise. Supporters call it a novel answer to who should own the gains from artificial intelligence.
From equity to enterprise.
Microsoft has unveiled a new operating business it's calling Microsoft Frontier Company, aimed squarely at getting enterprise AI deployments across the finish line. The venture is backed by a $2.5 billion investment and some 6,000 engineering and industry experts, and it embraces what's known as the forward-deployed engineer model, embedding specialists inside customer organizations. The launch reflects a broader industry pivot. The market has grown weary of demos and trillion-parameter boasts and is now rewarding companies that can turn AI into measurable business outcomes. Amazon made a similar move days earlier with its own deployment initiative. Microsoft is betting that the next phase of AI is less about models and more about delivery.
Now, a shift in the cloud.
Meta is reportedly preparing to rent out its own artificial intelligence computing power, a move that would put it in direct competition with Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. The initiative, dubbed Meta Compute, would let the social media giant monetize excess capacity from its enormous data center build-out. Word of the plan rippled through markets, sending shares of AI, infrastructure, and chip companies lowers on worries about fresh competition and a possible glut of computing supply. For Meta, it's a way to defray the staggering cost of its AI ambitions. For the incumbents, it's a reminder that every hyperscaler is now both a customer and a potential rival in the race to sell intelligence by the gigawatt.
Speaking of that race,
NVIDIA is rewriting the economics of AI infrastructure. The chip maker is rolling out what it calls AI factories, a model built on revenue sharing and credit support arrangements with AI cloud providers. The goal is to help startups, model builders, research groups, and regional players who lack deep pockets get access to accelerated computing they otherwise couldn't finance. Rather than demanding cash up front, NVIDIA effectively becomes a partner in the build-out, sharing in the returns as capacity comes online. It's a striking evolution for a company that already dominates AI hardware. By lowering the capital barrier, NVIDIA widens its ecosystem and locks in demand for its chips well into the future, all while spreading the financial risk across the industry.
to the chip labs now.
Qualcomm is mounting a direct challenge to NVIDIA's grip on the data center. The company has unveiled new artificial intelligence accelerators designed to run without high-bandwidth memory, the expensive and supply-constrained component at the heart of most AI chips today. By taking a different architectural path, Qualcomm says it can sidestep a key bottleneck and offer customers a cheaper route to inference at scale. The firm is targeting $15 billion in data center revenue by 2029, an ambitious goal for a company best known for smartphone processors. Whether hyperscalers bite remains to be seen, but the announcement adds another serious contender to a market where every major player is now hunting for alternatives to NVIDIA's costly, hard-to-get hardware.
Meanwhile, Musk's lab.
xAI has quietly moved its next flagship model, Grok 4.5, into private beta, with early testing underway inside Elon Musk's own companies, SpaceX and Tesla. According to people familiar with the effort, the model is roughly 3 times larger than the current production system and represents about a 50% scale increase over Grok 4.4. Musk has claimed internal evaluations show performance close to, and perhaps exceeding, the strongest models from rival labs, though that comparison hasn't been independently verified. Testing a frontier model inside real engineering and manufacturing operations gives XAI a live proving ground few competitors can match. Still, deploying unreleased AI across critical businesses carries obvious risks, and the wider public won't see results for some time.
Now, a question of access.
Anthropic is stepping up efforts to detect and shut down unauthorized use of its Claude models by Chinese companies. The AI developer says it has identified specific workarounds that breach its terms of service. In some cases, employees at large Chinese firms were said to be gaining access through overseas subsidiaries, while in others, engineers were reportedly reimbursed for personal subscriptions reached through virtual private networks. The crackdown highlights a growing tension in the industry. Leading American labs restrict their most capable systems from certain markets on security grounds, yet demand for those tools is global. Enforcement is difficult when access can be routed through third countries and shared accounts. Anthropic says it will keep tightening controls to keep its frontier models out of restricted hands.
And an answer from Beijing.
Meanwhile, a new Chinese artificial intelligence model is making waves for what it represents as much as what it does. A 1.6 trillion parameter system, trained entirely on domestically produced chips, has been open-sourced under a permissive MIT license. That combination matters. It signals that cutting-edge AI can be built outside of Western hardware supply chains, a direct response to export controls that have limited China's access to the most advanced processors. By releasing the model freely, its creators invite researchers everywhere to build on it. For a global AI community increasingly split along geopolitical lines, it's a reminder that the frontier is no longer the exclusive territory of a handful of American firms.
Turning to Washington.
The White House is in advanced talks with leading AI companies to finalize a set of voluntary standards for how the most powerful models are released. According to the Financial Times, an announcement could come as soon as the week of July 7th. Reuters reports that Google is among the firms at the table, weighing the framework ahead of planned releases of advanced coding models. The voluntary approach reflects the current American posture, favouring light-touch rules and industry cooperation over binding mandates, in contrast to Europe's more prescriptive AI Act. Supporters say flexible standards can keep pace with fast-moving technology. Skeptics worry that voluntary commitments lack teeth. Either way, the coming weeks could set the tone for how frontier AI is governed in the United States.
Now to the labour market.
Fresh economic data is fueling debate about artificial intelligence and jobs. The June payroll report showed just 57,000 positions added, far below the roughly 185,000 economists expected, and one of the weakest readings in years. Analysts point to several forces at once, but one stands out. Technology companies have announced roughly 142,000 layoffs so far this year, with some redirecting those savings toward AI infrastructure spending. It's too early to call this an AI jobs shock, and hiring in other sectors remains uneven. But the numbers sharpen a question hanging over the whole industry. As firms pour billions into automation, what happens to the workers those systems are meant to augment or replace?
To the funding front.
Video AI is drawing serious money. 12 Labs, a San Francisco startup building systems that understand and search video the way large language models handle text, has raised $100 million in a Series B round. The financing was co-led by New Enterprise Associates and Naver Ventures. 12 Labs trains its models on vast archives of footage, letting customers search, summarize, and analyze video by describing what they're looking for in plain language. It's a capability with obvious appeal to media companies, security firms, and any business sitting on mountains of unstructured video. The raise signals that investors still see room for specialized AI players who own a category, even as the largest labs dominate headlines and general-purpose models.
And one more deal.
Finally, the infrastructure gold rush continues. Crusoe, a data center developer that has become a key builder of AI computing capacity, is in talks to raise around $3 billion. The round would value the company at roughly $30 billion, a dramatic jump from about $10 billion just months ago. Crusoe specializes in standing up the power-hungry facilities that train and run today's largest models, positioning it at the center of the build-out every major AI firm depends on. The soaring valuation captures a broader truth about this moment. Much of the value in artificial intelligence is flowing not just to the labs, but to the companies supplying the land, power, and steel beneath them.
That's your briefing for Saturday, July 4th, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.